Hey guys, week 3, discussion 2. We're talking about students who might be struggling with a specific lesson and who need a little bit of scaffolding to help them out. So I'm doing 11th and 12th grade history, um, social sciences, ideally AP. It's my goal. So the content will be a little more challenging than, say, something more routine or early education. So in this one, our hypothetical John is having trouble engaging with the lesson. So the lesson would be to take a specific um, period of time and then make an argument against the standard norm using the language of the time, which develops the English literacy as well. So, for example, this particular lesson would be you'd have to argue for child labor or why child labor was used from the perspective of the factory owner or investor using the language of the time. So, during the Industrial Revolution, people spoke a certain way, had certain grammar, so you have to mimic that, or rather, John will have to. So he struggled a little bit with he understands the concept, he's proficient in persuasive writing or oral presentation, but the grammar, verbiage, syntax, all of that of the time is kind of missed on him. He's not quite grasping it. So the scaffolding from um, the most amount of help to the least amount of help would be first and foremost, instead of a 5-page paper, have it be a 10-page paper and partner him up with somebody who's very proficient. And his partner writes the first 5 pages, like the introduction and the first point of defense, second point of defense, maybe even. And then John would do the third point of defense and the summary or the conclusion, if you will. And so in that way, he can kind of mimic somebody who's already proficient. Not necessarily copy them, but just kind of mimic and have something to build off of. The next scaffolding I would have would be basically I myself would write his opponent's paper. You know, Bill T. Billington or whatever is saying, hey, we need to abolish child labor. Here's why, this, that, and the other, in the language of the time. And that way, if he wanted to or needed to, he could simply mimic it and kind of put a little bit of his own spin to it. But he would have to create something all his own, which is, a little more arduous than, just doing the conclusion of a paper that's already been started. And then the third scaffolding, which is kind of for somebody who, like if John was already fairly proficient, but kind of missing a little bit, I would just give him an array of primary and secondary documents that are written in the language of the time. And then he could study that, kind of mimic it, kind of chew it over and have it in his brain so that once he writes the paper or does the revision, he has that information available to him. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say, any feedback, any improvements, and I will reply to you in the comments below. Have a great day.